Hey guys, today's question: do I need a luggage rack to mount the K9 Moto Cockpit? No, you do not. We've mounted the cockpit to a whole variety of bikes, cafe racers, cruisers, sport bikes, e-bikes. It really is just a case of what the mounting opportunities are on your specific bike. Now, sport bikes, for example, we will often look to take that passenger seat off. So generally we'd like a sport bike that has a separate passenger and rider seat. We remove that passenger seat and we generally can find some access underneath. Certainly that area, that well, can support the weight. That's what it does for the human passenger that's riding there. Cafe racer, we generally can find some bolting opportunities around or underneath. Sometimes under the seat. And for cruisers, generally what we find is there are some really solid bolts along the sides of the rear wheel hub. Often those are the same bolts that are used for the side cases or saddlebags. And so we can run brackets up from those bolts, and you can imagine the cockpit being supported at the level of the passenger seat by those brackets. Sort of like a bridge, right? Now, clearly an adventure bike, a touring bike that has the luggage rack standard, that's preferable. That's easier. I mean, it's a simpler build, then it's a simpler installation for you as the rider. Generally, it's 4 bolts to the luggage rack. If it's a rail style luggage rack, it'll be U-bolts that we've cut down to size. So yeah, the luggage rack works out really well. Certainly in cases where the cruiser has a luggage rack, we build it out for that. But no, it is absolutely not necessary. Now, there are some cases where the mounting opportunities on your specific bike are a little bit, let's say, more complex to get to. This can happen when the mounting opportunities are underneath the seat or maybe underneath the rear wheel hub. We are always going to be, let's say, cautious about the complexity of the build that we undertake. Our builder's ability to fabricate is kind of knows no bounds. I mean, we have expert builders, but because this is a remote build, we are going to be cautious about our ability to communicate our measurement needs to you, and of course, our rider's ability to accurately take those measurements. So when a bracket would need to bend around and under a seat in order to install, we're going to be cautious about doing that. And in most cases, there are really solid aftermarket luggage racks that already mount to those locations. So we're not looking to, reinvent the wheel or reinvent the luggage rack, right? We're going to prefer to have you get something that's already on the market. Of course, we'll want you to make sure that it is robust enough to support the weight, and we go through that process with you. But no, you do not need a luggage rack. There are a whole variety of motorcycles that we've mounted to without luggage racks. And it's just a question of where those mounting opportunities are. So if you have any questions about your specific bike, send it over to info@goruffly.com. Send us over a few photos. We'll mark it up. We'll indicate where we see mounting opportunities, and we'll begin that conversation together.